Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishtya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam, yad vandanam, yat shravanam, yadarhanam, lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham, tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Vichakshanaya charanopasadanat sangam vyudasyo bhayato antaratmanah vindanti brahmagatim gataklamaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. See, from yesterday onwards, we are hearing so many sessions, so many speakers have spoken, and today it has been exceptionally very enjoyable with the children, as chanting. But with all these things, in my mind I have a question, that we are feeling very happy about this convention. It is very well organized. Everybody is happy. So many of them have told that it is very happy. But with all this, the question in my mind is that how many of you have really got inspired to study Bhagavad Gita, or to bring it into your life and pursue this as something which is much more higher than what we think life to be? How many of you have? Many are raising their hands. Especially with the youngsters, I feel that maybe many of you are chanting Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita, attending Bhagavad Gita lectures like this, maybe the convention. But what do you really think? How the message can be brought into one's own life? I am not a speaker as such. I am not even a scholar. But I have practiced from the time, I think, when I was 23 years old, I stepped into the path of spirituality. And from that time onwards, I had only one goal: how to bring spirituality in my own life. How my life can become better. How my personality can improve. And according to what? According to what the scriptures tell us. So the youngsters, I'm really expecting that you will take it to life. And the others who are in middle-aged and maybe a little elderly, I would say that this is something which has to be practiced. Because I always speak about sadhana. Whatever lectures I give, I do give lectures, I always speak about sadhana. How we hear, we hear, we listen, we read, and we study, but we get confused. What is the first step? What we should do? How do we become spiritual in mind, spiritual every moment? How do we become divine every moment? Maybe I can chant the whole of Bhagavad Gita without seeing a book. Or maybe I can explain very well. What of that? Always this question has come to me, what of that? I must know how to really have the messages relate into my life and how I can be like that. So when a topic was given to me, there was discussion. I was saying that I'm not going to talk in this convention. Then somebody said, no, Ma should talk. And the topic was given. What is the topic? Living the message of Bhagavad Gita in life. How do we live it? So I was thinking, and then I was remembering that when did I start reading Bhagavad Gita? I started at that age of 23 when I was in the university. And I remember when I started and came to that Sthita Prajna portion, and the first shloka, Prajahati Yada Kaman, that shloka, and the next one, Dukkheshvan Udvigna Manaha, Sukheshu Vigata Sprihaha. When I saw these verses and read these verses, I can still remember I had tears in my eyes. And I felt, oh, such a state of life is there where one can become non-agitated when there is unhappiness. When one has to face unhappiness in life, one can become non-agitated or not depressed. And is there another state of life where you do not really become elated when you are happy? Generally what happens? We are very much elated or we are very depressed. This is what we have. So when I read those slokas, and in that same portion, when Vihaya Kamanya Sarvan Pumams Charati Nispriha, that when you do not have any desire and you roam about without having any ego, without having any mindness, then sa shanti madhigacchati. Sa shanti madhigacchati. That was enough. Because even at the age of 23, I had a very good life, very good family, very good education, everything I had. But still, I had faced difficulties as a student, as being a daughter, maybe a neighbor, everything. With my friends, there had been moments when I felt confused, indecisive, or felt sad, felt that there is nothing which I can look forward to, or what is this life? And the most interesting thing that happened was, I started feeling that, oh, what is this world? The happiness that we get, it doesn't remain. It just goes away. If I am happy today, tomorrow it is not there, or the next moment it is not there. Then, is there anything permanent in this life? What is this permanence? Will anybody be able to tell me? Will anybody be able to explain to me? Will I be able to get it? And that was the question. That is the query. I think it happens to everybody. However much one is rich, however much one is wealthy, has prosperity, has name, fame, recognition. Maybe you have lived a very good life, you have very good children, they are all settled, even maybe the grandchildren are settled. But still, the mind faces a vacuum. Sometimes it feels, what is the purpose of this life? Why I am here? What I am doing? Is this life to be led? Is this a life to be led? Actually, people from outside may say that, oh, he has lived a very good life. He was quite comfortable, luxurious, wealthy, prosperity. He has left so much of money for his children and grandchildren. He was famous. But is that the life that we want? Because even in that life, there has been happiness, unhappiness, problems, tensions, stresses, whatnot. Sometimes we will feel that we are getting drowned in indecision. Sometimes we'll feel there is absolute darkness in front of us. We are not able to decide what we should do. So, what is this life? So, when I had that question and I stepped onto the path of spirituality, in fact, I was very fortunate enough that I was led to a realized soul at that moment, and who told me, do not fear, God is within you. The supreme power is inside us. It is everywhere and it is within you. So I started reading Bhagavad Gita at that time. And while reading, as I told you, as I came across these slokas, I felt, oh, is this possible? Then I must have it. Can I also have it? What is the path? I think that is the question. If any of you feel that this Bhagavad Gita is something which really tells us how to live in this life, actually it tells us how we can live in this life unaffectedly. And that is what all of us want. Because this life brings happiness and unhappiness, success and failure, always pairs of opposites we are facing. And when we face that, we do not know what to do. Bhagavad Gita tells us how we have a real identity. Our true identity is not that we are weak. Our true identity is that I am that which is absolutely imperishable, immovable, changeless, eternal. It says that. And in the second chapter itself, Bhagavad Gita is saying, how many sloka? Acchedoyam, adahyoyam. All those slokas, I am not going to repeat the slokas, there is no time, So, but I will tell you one sloka, which is not in Bhagavad Gita, but it is from Viveka Chudamani, which will tell you in a beautiful way what we are. It says, Akashavallaepa viduragoham Adityavad bhasya vilakshanoham Aharyavan nitya vinishchaloham Ambodhivat paravivarjitoham Akashavallaepa viduragoham. It says, I, the I that I am. Generally we think this body-mind-intelligence complex is the limited I. I feel that this is me. But the I that I am, it is all-pervading, eternal. And it says that it is like the sky. What does it say? Akashavallaepa viduragoham. I am like a space, the akasha, the sky, which is taintless. What is our mind? Mind always gets tainted. Anything, any behavior from anybody or any wrong comment from anybody or anything happening, the mind gets disturbed, agitated. Either it starts hating or it starts feeling, it doesn't know what to do. So, this says that I am like the sky. If you make a mark on the sky, there is no mark. If you make a mark on the earth, the mark will remain. If you take your finger on water, there will be a mark, but then it will dissolve. But in sky, there is no mark at all, no taint at all. So, our real identity is like that. Nothing can make any mark on myself. Adityavad bhasya vilakshanoham. And I am like the sun. I am always bright, ever bright. No darkness can come in me. Nothing in this world can bring it any kind of shadow over me. I am always bright, ever bright. Aharyavan nitya vinishchaloham. And I am like the mountain. A mountain, if we push, it doesn't move. So we are also like that. Suppose something has happened. We think that we got disturbed, we got agitated, we do not know. Everything has got lost, we feel. But actually, if we stop and think, we'll find that, and we can touch that core in us, which is like the mountain, then we will understand that we are immovable. This is what? Adityavat bhasya vilakshanoham, aharyavan nitya vinishchaloham, and ambodhivat para vivarjitoham. And we are like the ocean where it is all expanse, it has no boundary, we are limitless. Now we consider ourselves to be limited, but actually it is not. So this is our true identity, and Bhagavad Gita, right in the beginning, tells us about it. You know, all our scriptures, they tell us that which will lead us to know our true identity. It will transform us, transform the personality. But all the other subjects that we read, say we read the other subjects like, say, physics, chemistry, maths, economics, whatever, we just learn the subject. And for what? To earn money, for more luxury, more comfort. But this spiritual texts, they compel us, if we take it seriously, to become that. Whatever message it is giving, to become that. And knowing that what I am, what happens is that we understand that we are completely eternal, imperishable. Whatever we have to face, anything that we have to face in life, whether it is happiness or unhappiness, we can go into ourselves and we can remain stable-minded. We can remain stable-minded in the face of anything. This is what we learn. Now the question is, Bhagavad Gita, you have listened for the last 2 days, yesterday and today, many things, many PowerPoints were shown. Many of you must be reading Bhagavad Gita always, every day at least, and maybe some may be new also, I do not know. So I'm not going into all these things. I only want to tell you how we can take the message in our life, what we should do. Say, every one of you, what you should do so that slowly this knowledge become yours. So what we should do every day. What are we to do? I think the first thing that we have to do is that feel very blessed. Feel very blessed. Why? Because you have been exposed to it. Exposed to this great scripture. And many have not been exposed. You are one of them who have been exposed, and you have come to know that yes, there is a state of mind where we can reaching where we will feel that no other gain is necessary, and remaining where we will be able to face even very great adversities of life. This is what we will feel. So now in this life, the first thing that we have to do is that we feel blessed and feel gratitude that we have been exposed to such a text. Now question is, how many of you are serious? How many of you really want to go to that state when you will not be affected by anything, where you will be absolutely fearless? I think all of us in this life, we want to become happy and peaceful. We want to be fearless and unaffected in life. Every one of us want it, don't you? Every one of us. Whether we listen to a lecture, whether we read a book, whether we practice anything, our main goal is to remain happy and peaceful and not be fearful at all of anything. So this is what we are going to get. This is our aim. I'm not talking about the greatest aim that where we have to know the self. Self, just now I told, and many always you have been hearing other ways also, that the self is eternal, imperishable, all-pervading and everything. But how do we feel it? How do we go into it? What do we understand by it? It is just something told to us, and we are thinking that the self is the self has such characteristics. But how do we actually attain that? What do we do? So, you have to have faith. This whole of Bhagavad Gita, it is a conversation between a teacher and a student. Arjuna, who was the companion and friend of Krishna, became a student near Krishna. He said that, now I am your Shishya, please tell me what I should do, what is the best thing for me to do. And whatever he told, the whole of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has been telling, in giving instructions, all that he has told. Unless Arjuna did not have faith in it, he would not have got the knowledge. So, in the beginning itself, we must have the faith that what is being told, all the words, the Gita is not a book, it's a book of life. Every word has a life in it. When we hold the book, we should have tremors in the body. We must feel so holy about it. We should have horripilation in the body. A tear should come in the mind, in the eyes, and the mind should melt. Bhagavad Gita is like that. And so are the other scriptures. It tells human beings that this is the way we are showing you. All our rishis, they are saying, this is the way to go to that immortality. Don't be fearful. There is a state where you will be fearless. You will be always happy. You will be always cheerful. And I show you the way. Now, we have to go to that state. And we have to have faith that what they are saying is true. And I can achieve it. I again come back to the point that, okay, you are hearing that such a state is there, and you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to restrain your sense organs, or you have to, have the good qualities. All that we hear. But how do we do it? How do we see the same soul in everything? What do we do? So, I think right in the beginning, what we must think is that, first of all, every day when we get up, we should think that we have got up by the power of some supreme being. There is a supreme power which makes us get up in the morning. We went to sleep, we went to bed. Can we decide exactly at what time we will fall asleep? Do you have any control over that? No. Do you have? Exactly at what time you will sleep off? Do you have any control over that? No. Similarly, exactly at what time your eyes will open? Do you have any control over that? So who is doing that? Who is that power? You may not call it God, but there is a power which enlivens us and makes us, makes us live every day. So there is a very beautiful sloka. I will not say the sloka as such. The meaning is that it says that right in the morning, I get up by your prompting, O Lord. Because you prompt me to get up, I get up. And getting up in the morning, I feel that you have given me another day to live. And in that, I feel that as you have prompted me to get up in this beautiful morning, all the work which is awaiting me throughout the day, I will do all the work and I will lead this life. The work may be sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes it will be successful, sometimes not, sometimes I will like it, sometimes I will not like it. But I will do all this to your pleasure because you are giving me the life. At least this much we must think in the morning. So when we get up in the morning, first feel blessed. Then you feel that a supreme power is there which is leading my life. And after that you think, what is your real identity? What is this life like? What I am really and what I should do. So like this, when we go and we go through our life, we will feel that it is, a divinity that we want. In the morning itself, we should start feeling divine by these thoughts. So whatever the Bhagavad Gita that we are reading, whatever we want to achieve, we actually want to have a divinity, a feeling of divinity, a feeling of spirituality every moment. Unless we bring this divinity and feeling of purity every moment, it will be all a knowledge in the intellect, only in the intelligence. We have to feel it. We have to experience it. We have to, when we see everything, we have to feel that it is God everywhere. As my soul is, I am in everything and everything is in me. How do we feel it? Think. There are people with whom we have to behave. People may not be very good, very difficult people sometimes we have to meet. You may have many difficulties in the office, in the house, everything. But stop for a while, think that I am in everything and everything is in me. All these thoughts, when we are reading, when we are listening, we are getting inspired. But what we have to do? We have to do it. We have to do it and actually experience it. Experience it. And like in Bhagavad Gita, it says that, we are hectic, always in hectic activity. We cannot do always meditation. Today, Nirvisheshananda Swamiji was talking about meditational and interactional sadhana. But we cannot always do meditation. So we are in hectic activity. So what we will do? How we will look at our activities? In what manner we should bring in divinity in that activity also? Do you get me? Do you understand? Yes. That every moment we must have a feeling of divine feeling, a divinity feeling. That is what, right in the beginning I told you that I have been practicing. I have been practicing only that. How in the midst of everything, every work, suppose I like something, I do not like something, suppose I have to meet somebody whom I like, somebody I dislike, in everything, how to find out a divinity, how to enrich the mind, how the mind can be always inspired. That effort one has to make. For effort one has to make, because all of you are educated to, study and taking degrees. We have spent so many years. From school itself, say 10 or 12 years we have to spend in school to get a degree, school living certificate. After that we enter the college, the university, or engineering, medicine. How much effort we have to make. When we have to make an effort in this also, to go to that state where I know that I am fearless, I am unaffected, I cannot be moved, I cannot be deflected. To that state, when we have to reach that state, we have to go step by step, step by step. Right in the beginning, if we start reading our scriptures, a Bhagavad Gita, because it's the Bhagavad Gita Convention, or so many other things are there, Yoga Vasishta and others, Upanishads are there. We cannot reach that state immediately, but we can reach step by step. And what is that state? To find divinity in everything. Every work that we do, it should be a offering to God. Offering to God. Now, one incident is coming to my mind. You know what? When I used to read Bhagavad Gita, I remember that where Krishna says, Mat karma krit mat paramaha mat bhakta sangavarjitaha. So I used to think that how in the midst of so much of activity, I can remember him. Krishna says that if you remember me, then you will be attaining me. How to remember him? And what is this mat karma krit? How do we do karma for him? How do we do our actions for him? What does it mean? I have not seen Krishna. I do not know God. I do not know anything. And here, Krishna or God means what? He is the teacher. And who is a teacher? The teacher is one who has identified with that state of Brahman, of always. Brahman is eternal, imperishable, all-pervading. So, how do you offer the work to him? That was a great question. Do you have this question yourself? Do you also feel how work can be done where you will be called a mat karma krit? That is, not thinking of oneself. As Bhagavad Gita always says that do karma, do your activities without getting attached. Do not have attachment to it. Do not be clinging to it. Now, the incident that is coming to my mind is that when I used to study this Bhagavad Gita, I had written to Swamiji, my Guru, how does one become mat karma krit? I cannot understand this word. How does one become? So, it so happened, during that time, I was in the household at that time, and there was one sannyasi who came down from Himalayas, and he was taking classes of Upanishads and other scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Vasishta and all. So I started going to that class. He was a very strict person. He said that if you cannot come regularly to the class, you need not come. So for 2 years, whether it rained, whether it was sunshine, whether people were at home, whatever happened, if I could get up from bed, that is, I was not sick, I was going and learning. So he had come down from Himalayas, staunch sannyasin, and he was taking bhiksha from one house, and every day he used to say, he had very few disciples because he was so strict. He wouldn't allow any kind of, laxity. You have to come every day for the class. So naturally, householders cannot come every day. So he would say many days that, see, I am a sannyasin, I must get bhiksha from different people. I should not tax one family only. So I felt that, maybe he is thinking that I can also give bhiksha and I should give him bhiksha. I did not know how to prepare any food for any sannyasin till that time. So after he said many days, one day I just prostrated and said that, Swamiji, if you feel I am eligible, then I will bring bhiksha for you. He said, okay. And he specified one particular day. So that day, say it was a Tuesday. So now, I don't know, because of maybe the mind always looked for divinity and spirituality, it came to my mind that we would buy a separate bag for him to get his vegetables, not bring in the bag in which we bring our vegetables. We would bring some vessels for him, particularly for him, to cook and to take his food to him. So all that done. So that day, after bath and all that, I started chopping vegetables. I was trying very hard to make my mind pure and chanting my mantra. I had a Guru mantra, and not allowing any kind of other thoughts inside my mind, because I had heard he was very, very strict. While taking food, he will understand that the mind was impure and he will not touch that food. So it was an examination for me. So I somehow prepared the food with love and as much purity as I could. I prepared the food and took to him. He took, my heart was beating, whether he will throw my food or take it. He took and said, very pure food. So passed that day. Next week, again Tuesday came, again so much anxiety. Like that 2-3 weeks passed, and then I felt that what is this? Such a great opportunity of serving a sannyasin has come to me, and I am becoming so anxious and so worried. It is not giving me any kind of shanti. I am just getting agitated. So why is it happening? And that time, there was a revelation in my mind that I understood that only one day of the week, that is on Tuesday, I was trying to prepare food considering it to be holy. All other days I was allowing my mind to be anything, going here, going there, not concentrating on the food, not thinking that I am preparing a holy food which I will offer to God and then I will partake it. Do you get it? So, I don't know how that revelation came. Maybe by God's grace. And I understood that every day, if I think what I am preparing, it is not for my family, not for my own taste or my family people's taste. It is something, a work that God has given me. I should do the work perfectly and well, to the best of my ability. And whosoever takes it, it will be prasad. And with that prasad, taking that prasad, we will grow bodily, mentally, intelligentially and spiritually. Then only it will be a work done for him. Mat karma krit. And it was only in cooking. I found that it can be done and extended to every work that we do. Every work that we do. And many times I tell this example, the post comes to the ashram. Lot of envelopes will come. I used to look after it and I would cut the envelopes. Our Swamiji is very particular that the envelope should be cut straight, not torn, with a scissor. And sometimes, people, when they send some letter or some offering, they will not be careful enough and they will gum it in such a manner that the letter also gets stuck in the fold. So you have to be very careful to thinly cut the edge. So one day I was thinking, oh, what has happened? Such a simple, unimportant job that I am doing, cutting envelopes. What joy I am getting doing it. So much joy, and the mind is so free. So what I am saying is that from this one incident that I told you, I think I have been able to explain to you what means mat karma krit. Every work that we do, it should not be for us. Not thinking that I am doing. In Bhagavad Gita, so many places it is there that kartaham iti manyate, that we think that we are the karta. But actually who is the karta? We should not be thinking that I have done. When we do something very good, we feel that I have done very well. When something goes wrong, then we start blaming everybody. That is what we do. But that is not. The work done should be like this. And this can be extended to every work. This is swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. So, by doing work in the manner in which it is never for oneself, never thinking about one's own gain, never for the family people alone, but thinking that everything is for the good for others, good for everybody. Now, we will say that how can we do it in the office? So many targets to be met, the boss is not very happy, and so many other difficulties are there. Yes, you may think so, but there also, just stop for a moment. When difficulties are there in work, just stop for a moment and think, this is the work that today I have been given. And I will do it absolutely well, perfectly, even though I dislike it. Even though I dislike the people and I find difficulty in interacting with the people with whom I have to work, I will do it well without having any kind of bias or partiality or any feeling in my mind. There is a very good sloka, It says, one line I will say, that one line is Paraguna Parvati Kritya Nityam. Now, to go to that state where we are able to face sukha and dukkha, happiness and pleasure, happiness and unhappiness, success and failure equally, and we are always unaffected, to go to that state, the mind has to be made pure. Pure, and that is the qualities which are good. In the Bhagavad Gita, in 12th chapter, 13th chapter, 14 chapters, and then 17th chapter, so many things, so many places, all the good qualities that we must practice has been given. We think that we are devotees, but we do not practice these qualities. We have to, if we have to grow in spirituality, if we have to go to that state of mind, we have to practice and make these qualities our own. Just like, say, suppose I want to go to that door, and here lot of pebbles and stones and other things, rubbish is there. What do I have to do? I have to clear the path. Then only I can reach there. Similarly, all the rubbish that is there in the mind, we have to remove them. That is, you discard, reject all the undesirable traits in you, like anger, irritation, jealousy, all those things, procrastination, laziness, all those things you have to remove and bring in more and more good qualities. Out of that good quality, I'll talk only about one, gaining which there is always happiness. And we are all, what is that? That is contentment. Santushtaha satatam and Atmanyeva Atmana tushtaha. Right in the second chapter, Atmanyeva Atmana tushtaha. This word, this shloka is there. What does it mean? That is being happy within oneself. Being happy within oneself. So, being happy within oneself, yes. If we are always thinking we'll get happiness from outside objects. But the outside objects are all perishable. They do not remain. But actually we do not understand, even though we understand, we do not think about it or we do not pursue it. There is a fountain of joy inside us. There is a fountain of joy. If we can touch that fountain, if we can go inside us, instead of looking for happiness outside, if we go inside us and touch that fountain, it will be always happiness. Nirantara ananda rasena triptaha. In Vivek Chudamani it says, Swasmin sada kridati nandati swayam nirantara ananda rasena triptaha. That there is a state where neither you will be agitated, nor you will be elated, but there is a state where if you go inside yourself, you will find that fountain of joy, which will lead you to this fountain of Amrita, nectar, and you will become contented. That contentment we have to do. So always see whether you are contented. And a small story again, I will say, that, as in the ashram, we had lunch one day. In ashram, everything goes by time. Always there is a bell. So there is a bell for prayer, there is a bell for breakfast, there is a bell for the class, there is a bell for satsang, there is a bell for bhojana pavitrikaranam. That bhojana pavitrikaranam is one item. I'll just say in short that all that food that is prepared in the ashram, every day, we bring it to Pujya Swamiji for purification. Because when we cook, many kinds of impurities come in. What kinds? One is the place of the cooking may not be clean. Another is, but you might not have been careful. The items with which you are cooking may not be clean. You might not have washed them properly. Hair, dust particle, insects may be there. Thirdly, and most importantly, is the mind of the cook, which remains most of the time agitated, most of the time disturbed, most of the times in hurry. Or, you are cooking, but you are actually criticizing and blaming somebody, finding fault with somebody, so the mind is impure. So all these impurities get into the food, and food becomes impure. So we bring it to Swamiji. He looks at it. With his glance, divine glance, he purifies it. And he has a sankalpa in the mind that whoever takes this purified food will grow bodily, mentally, intelligentially, and spiritually. After that, all the items are taken to the kitchen, and in the particular container, respective containers, they are put back, stirred very well, and then only it is served. Unfortunately, the food that we are serving you here, if there was any possibility, we would have done this. But in this convention, I don't know where people are also in a hurry, it cannot be done. So we had just taken lunch, and Swamiji had gone outside, and we other ashramites, we were waiting for him to come back. He would come back and take lunch. I saw from the gate, the ashram building is quite far. The gate opened slowly, and a figure, very old, with a stick, was coming slowly. I thought it must be a beggar. Those days, it's a long time back, there used to be beggars in Kerala, but now there is no beggar in Kerala. So it was an old person coming. As he came, I could see him from a distance. So I felt very pity. And I went inside and took a 10 rupee note. 10 rupee was quite much during that time to give to a beggar. Generally, 4-5 rupees we would give. I gave it out to him, and he took it and said, "Amma, can you give me 30 rupees? It was very shocking that he's saying, I am giving 10, he's asking more. So I took it back. Then he said, actually, I am very sick. I am going to Calicut, which is 3 hours away from our ashram, is in Thrissur. I am going for treatment. The hospital charges are free, lodging is free, everything, medicines are free. But I have to go there. I don't have the money. The train fare is 30 rupees. Can you give me 30 rupees? So as soon as he told, I just took back the note, came inside, took 30 rupees, and then my mind was working. Poor man, old man. He may need a bedsheet in the hospital. He may need a dhoti, this lower garment. So I collected. We sometimes always keep for poor people. So I took one. A brahmachari was there. He helped me. Took the bedsheet, took the dhoti, took one towel, thinking that also will be helpful. And I made a packet and went to him to give. He took it, was very happy. Then suddenly his face changed and he said, "Oh, I never come this way. But somebody told me that you can come come this way, there is an ashram, they will give you something. And see, you have given. But I'm feeling very unhappy now. I am very old. I may die there. Then I won't be able to come back and meet you again. That was his sorrow. When he was saying this, I looked at him very carefully. Wrinkled face, eyes were cloudy. There was so much deposit at the corner of the eyes. Nails were all dirty. And I looked and found the toes that it were full of dirt. And he was wearing 2 sandals, 2 of 2 types, that too torn, which he has tied with safety pin. So I felt very sorry and asked the brahmachari, do we have any sandal in our stock? He said that there is one. So he brought it. While he was bringing, I thought that, it was lunchtime, over. And he must be very hungry. So I took bananas, big bananas, and packeted that. And that packet I was giving him, saying that you must be hungry, please take it. And here is a chappal, sandal. You know what he said? He said, enough. Enough, mother. I don't need. You have given me more than what I asked. I asked only 30 rupees. You have given me more. This is enough. I don't need. And he turned and went away. Just see, he was wearing such chappals, and I was giving a new chappal to him. I was giving him some food, and he just refused it. Just refused it. And I felt, what are we? Our desires are always more and more and more. This is called contentment. The one who has contentment, he is the rich person. When the mind is contented, then whether he is a poor person or a rich person, there is no difference. So I said, I want to tell you, I don't know, I feel that I am not taken you anywhere, and I think I have taken much more time than what I was allotted to, but whatever I have told, I am happy to have told you at least these 2 stories, which are real life stories, and that shows us how we can practice what we are learning. Jaya Shankha Gadadhara Neela Kalevara Pita Patambara Dehi Padam Jaya Bhakta Janashraya Mangala Karana Antima Bandhava Dehi Padam Jaya Shankha Gadadhara Neela Kalevara Pita Patambara Dehi Padam. O Lord, give me refuge at your holy lotus feet. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.